I'm Zane Reed, and I'd like to share with you about ministering to the lonely and the hurting. Pastor Paul received a phone call from an elderly gentleman who lived in South Reigate. He said he was a Christian and his wife had died just a few weeks ago. He asked if we had anyone who could come and visit with him. Pastor Paul asked me if I'd go and minister to him, and I said I would. I went to visit him, and to my surprise, I found out he was a hoarder. I walked in, and there was room enough for me to sit down inside the door. There was a path about 6 feet long where he sat, facing me. He told me after a few visits that I was the only one who ever came back. But I felt that this was as of the Lord and that I should continue. So I continued, and for probably about 2 years. During that time, I would take him grocery shopping once in a while and do a few ministry things. But I would also get into the scriptures with him. Almost every time I went to visit him, he would come up with some question he got from one of the televangelists from TV. He watched that continually. He always remarked that I always looked and God gave him the answers from the Bible itself. I didn't give them to him off the top of my head. And he thought that was good. But I asked him how he came to know the Lord, and he told me that as a teenager, he went forward at a Jack Wyrtzen rally. But that's as far as his Christian experience went. So I kept working with him. And finally one evening I said to him, "Are you sure you're saved?" And he mumbled something, and I said, "Are you sure you're saved?" He mumbled again. I said, "Are you sure you're saved?" He mumbled again. This went on 5 times. Then he jumped up at the last time and screamed at me, "No, I'm not sure." And from that time on, I was able to work with him and bring him into the kingdom through the scriptures. After that, I'm happy to say that he did trust the Lord as his Savior. And after that, he became very at peace, because what he seemed to be afraid of was that he wouldn't get to see his wife, because she had died, and she was supposedly a Christian, and he thought she was going to heaven and he might get left out. And I didn't get a chance after that to disciple him very much because he passed away. But we would pray together, and he would pray, and he was sure that he was going to meet up with his wife. And that gave him peace and give him confidence. So I just thank God for allowing me to be a part of reaching out to this lonely, hurting, and once lost old gentleman.